Hi, I'd like to say hello to the students at the St. Anthony Middle School. Your teachers sent me a few questions you guys had to ask about Freak the Mighty, so I'm going to try to answer them. What caused you to write this book? From Michael J. Well, I was inspired by a couple of kids from my own neighborhood who were best friends. And after I'd been aware of this for a long, long time, it finally occurred to me that there was a story I could tell. And that should also answer Max H's question about, is this book related to my life? Yes, it was. Although it's fictional, it was inspired by real people. Brendan wants to know, when did I start writing books and why? I guess why is because I love to read and wanted to do the same thing that I was enjoying so much. And I started writing in about sixth grade, where I started writing short stories. Didn't write a novel till I was 16 or so in high school, although it wasn't published, and I didn't actually write a novel that could be published until I was in my late 20s. I started writing seriously in sixth grade. Rumi Skoglund wants to know, am I planning to publish a new book? Yes, the answer is I'm working on a book now called Hurricane Zane, about a kid who survives Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. Characters. Where did I come up with the nicknames Freak and Mighty? From Zach wants to know. I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but all I know is I had the idea of the title Freak the Mighty occurred exactly at the same time as I was thinking of the story. I knew the two boys would combine their characters to this quest, and that they would call themselves Freak the Mighty. The idea for Kevin on Max's shoulders, Liam wants to know. I think that came because I'd actually seen the kids doing that. I'd seen them walking down the street with the little kid on the big kid's shoulders. The little boy couldn't walk very well, so sometimes they did that. Are there any real people that inspired your characters? Emily wants to know. Yes, I think I've answered that. These were inspired by real characters, although I changed it and made the whole thing fictional. What do you feel you are most like from the book? Issac Nelson wants to know. I'm not sure. There's a little bit of me in all the characters, probably. I was big like Max, or tall anyways. I wasn't that heavy. And so I felt ungainly sometimes, and my coordination wasn't great for those years that I was growing so fast. So I guess I'd identify that way with Max, although I didn't have a learning disability and always loved to read. Nicole Steppen wants to know, how old are Grimm and Graham? I think they're in their late 50s or early 60s. Was your grandpa mean to you too? Howie Muhammad wants to know. Well, no, because I didn't actually have a grandfather. Both my grandfathers were gone by the time I was born and around, so I never had a chance to know them. Did anything that happened in the book ever happen to you? Claire Jager Mountain. Well, Claire, I guess quite a few of the little things, the 4th of July scenes, the bullies, all of those things are based on experiences I had as a kid. As to Nick Lawson wants to know, why is Tony D such a bully? Well, I'm not sure exactly. There's no excuse for it. I know that much, but I know that it's also very common, and some of us who have been bullied then bully other people. But in any case, I sort of suspect that Tony D has a pretty rough life at home, and he may be taking it out on others to make himself feel like a big shot. Melanie wants to know, why aren't there any major female protagonists? Well, I think I've explained that the two main characters are boys. They're based on real boys. I think I have a lot of female protagonists, in the sense that the female characters are very important in this story. His mother, the fair Gwen, his grandmother, who adores him, Graham, Loretta Lee, who's an odd kind of character at the beginning, but who comes through at the end and helps save him, and then helps speak to him at the very end in his time of grief. Personal questions. Dan Kaminsky, what is your favorite movie? Well, I'm not sure I have a favorite movie at the moment. When I was a little kid, like 4th or 5th or 6th grade, I think maybe my favorite movie was The Wizard of Oz. It only came on TV once a year in those days, back in the Stone Ages, and it was a big family occasion to sit down and watch it that Sunday night that it would broadcast. So I always look forward to that. Ben Vernon wants to know, what college did I go to? Well, I never finished college. I dropped out to write a book, but I went for a couple of years to the University of New Hampshire. Tenzin Legden, when you were in middle school, what were you like? Tall or short, intelligent or not? Well, I was tall. I thought I was intelligent, but who knows if I really was at the time. Max Glass, where are you from and where do you live now? Well, I grew up on the coast of New Hampshire. My wife and I now have a place, little place in Kittery, Maine, which is the southern part of Maine, and we're there for half the year. And the other half of the year, we're down here in the Florida Keys, where I can go fishing in the afternoons and she can go swimming. Brigitta Zosel, have you ever visited Minnesota? Well, as a matter of fact, yes. I had an uncle who taught at Mankato State in Mankato, Minnesota, and my two youngest brothers, Mark and Johnny, went to school at Mankato when I came out to visit them, although that was many years ago. Truman Lease, do you speak Spanish or any other language? Well, I wish I spoke Spanish because it would be very handy down here in southern Florida, and I always admire people who are bilingual or trilingual, but I have trouble just speaking English, and after 4 years of French, I still couldn't seem to handle it. So I'm afraid I'm just stuck with American is basically what I speak. Well, I hope I've answered some of your questions at the St. Anthony Middle School, and I'm going to say goodbye and hope that you all keep reading. Read some more of my books if you like, but read somebody's books and think about them. That's the fun part of it. Okay.